I am coming to terms with something about myself. Um, I have a hard time saying, I have a hard time staying present and holding space well when people I love deeply are struggling, especially when what they're struggling with is something small. Um, it's not the big stuff. So it's the kind of things when that just weighs them down. You can see it all over them. You can see it in their demeanor, where it feels like in you get to saying they would just face themselves, take responsibility, um, big or small, tiny steps even. Um, if they would just take responsibility for where they are and do something, mm, you, you can just see that life would smooth out for them. So I'm a go getter, probably just like you, and I like things neat, packaged, and resolved. I'm very much a let's get this done, let's get this behind us so we can move on. Um, that's my energy. And, it's as if that's what they're asking for too. So I'm wrestling with what's actually being asked of me, what I should be asking myself when I'm supporting the people who are closest to me. And some of what I'm going to say, I'm only proud that I'm naming it, um, for us to reflect on and see if it relates. Um, but I'm not so proud of how I've always handled it. These aren't things, like I said, it's not something that my loved ones have asked of me. These are things that I'm asking of myself, truths that I want to face on my own. It's not how to support them, like I said, not for the really big things like illness or grief or some crazy breakup. Um, there's blueprints, I would say, for that. I'm talking about like the small stuff, when you can see somebody staying in a life that doesn't serve them anymore, or because you know them, you just know something is off, but they don't quite know what to do next. And if I'm honest, the smaller things are the things that I struggle with. And I wondered, maybe I'm not alone. Maybe you're working through this too, um, trying to stay present for somebody in your life that you care deeply about. Um, when you see that maybe they're just not facing something, they're not facing where they are, and if they did, things would be different. Hi, come on in. If any of this sounds like something that you can, um, that you want to hear, um, if you're new here, I am Minty Ray, and here I just love having honest conversations about health, about relationships, and everything in between, especially as it relates to menopause and midlife. As you can see, this is where we are. This is a space where we can grow as little or as much as we want with no apologies. So today, I want to talk through this. s- Excuse me. What's happening for me when I'm unable to hold space for the people that I say that I love and care for? These are people that I do love and care for. Um, I have 3 points that I want to talk about, and kind of talk through. So see if you can relate. The first thing that I want to talk about is what's happening inside of me when someone that I say that I love, um, stays stuck, in a situation longer than I think that they should. Um, I get uncomfortable watching them. Um, I get uncomfortable watching somebody that I love tolerate less than I would put up with. I start to feel anxious and I want to push them, to do something about it. I've even experienced that while I'm with them. when I'm kind of trying to hold space for them, my energy and my presence starts to shift if things aren't moving along fast enough. And I even can find myself wanting to just check out, you know, knowing very well that they haven't fully got the support that they need. And I'm not proud of it. I try and fight it. And remember, these are people that I really love. Um, these are people that are closest to me. And these are people that are part of my immediate circle. And like they need me, I could need them at any time to go through something um, small but difficult, but just kind of draining and numbing. I want them to change. This is number two. I want them to change at my pace. And that brings me to whether my real focus is on trying to help them relieve their pain or whether I'm like, let's move this along because I'm not noticing change in them from our discussions. So it's like I'm watching, we're talking, I'm watching, and I'm not seeing any what I feel like is progress that they need to be making. And so I kind of get it's like I get impatient with it, and I'm not proud about it, but I want to put it out there for you to witness and notice if any of this comes up in your relationships. And the third one is one that you hear it and see where it lands for you. I feel like this is the hardest one yet for me. Um, I feel like if I give up on trying to move them forward, what I face in myself, I worry that their growth just might happen without me. And it's embarrassing to say, but I feel like there's power in naming this. And so that's what I'm holding on to while I'm talking about this. Even more for this one is that if I stop providing support to them, I don't get to claim their outcome. And I do wonder that how much value can I offer them um, when they face their next crisis. So, this is one of those things where I feel like somebody's got to say it. Um, and I also know that there's power here for us when we name things. That's the whole point. Um, well, the point is that we grow. Um, we take what we want and that we grow. And I feel like the way that we get there is to name the things that sit inside of us quietly. Um, so I don't think that holding space is about doing any of this well. I do think it's about staying honest with ourselves um, without making someone else responsible for um, our discomfort. And with that, that's all I have for today. Um, we'll be back again. I'll be back again very soon. And let's chat in the comments if this resonates for you, um, or if you find yourself struggling with staying present with the folks um, that you know and love, and that you're going to require it of them too at some point. All right. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you in the very next video.